Magandang umaga sa inyo mga kababayan. Musta na? Today is February 2nd, Sunday. At merong soccer game ang anak ko. Maghatid tayo. And mag-vlog tayo. May pag-uusapan tayo.
Yeah, boy.
Road today. Punta sa gym. Pati paghanap ng parking. Kasi may mga time slot sila. Mga before 11:15. Kaya ang daming taong nakapark. Kasi meron ding activity sa school. Tapos yung separate building ng soccer ay doon sila. Dito ayan yung school. Ito yung separate building ng soccer. Ayan. May basketball ata dyan sa high school. Yan, balik na lang tayo. Walang maupuan din.
A few moments later.
So pag-uusapan pala natin yung mga expenses ng mga bata sa tax deductible. Yan yung mga education, mga courses, anything, yung ang tawag nito, yan yung sa soccer sports. Nagbayad kami ng 300, something like that, I think. And then it's good for 3 months, from January till March, and twice a week, an hour and a half both for the soccer games or training sa mga coaches nila, no? So yeah, it's tax deductible, meaning you can deduct it from your gross income, and then yung taxable income is gonna be lower, magiging net income mo is lower. So doon nila i-base yung taxable income mo. So you have to go down para it can go down to the margin na yung lower, right? So tax bracket of Canada, you can Google it and see kung ano yung mga tax bracket ng Canada. Yan, alis na tayo. 12:30 na pala.
A few moments later.
Bayan. Yan, i-unbox natin tong DJI Mic 2. Okay. So this is DJI Mic 2 with a receiver. All right. And it comes in a package right here. It's small. It's a nice package, huh? So it comes in here. Yeah. Open it up. We are listening to Max Amini, made in China. Check him out at on YouTube. So it's got a receiver here, right here. It's already charged, I think. And it's got 2 receivers. It's very small. It's nice. Let's see how this one is compared to the original DJI mic. This one's very small. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to see if this one's gonna connect to the GoPro 12. Just GoPro 12 has a Bluetooth capability also, but oh, it's got a mic, a magnet also here. Yan. Two of them. Right there. Oh, magnetized. Oops. 100% made in China. Okay. So it's got a connector. Yeah, for USB. I just couldn't find a connector for the iPhone. Yeah. Oh, here. Comes with a USB charger, USB-C cable right here, and this is for the media output, audio output, and in. No, I don't see. Oh, it's probably here. And it's got a dead cat for wind protection. Comes with 4. Yeah. So the only thing I don't see, because it's a warehouse deal, it's missing an iPhone adapter for iPhone 14 and below. Yeah, because iPhone 15 is using a USB-C already, right? So that's all. Okay, nice charger, mini mic 2. Okay, now we're using the mini mic, DJI mic mini. Previously, before this scene, I was using the DJI mic original. Can you tell the difference? It's very small right here. Okay, so buckle up. Trade war is officially open in Canada versus the USA, and China only got imposed the 10% tariff for all their stuff going to the United States. But Canada, which is the closest neighbor ng United States, is getting the 25% tariff, all the imported goods from Canada to the US. So, and also Mexico's goods gonna be imposed with a 25% tariff. So I don't get it. Well, and I heard Canada will impose a 100% tariff on Tesla. So sa mga gustong bumili ng Tesla dyan, no, dodoble yung presyo. Kung 100,000 ang presyo ng Tesla, magiging 200,000 because it's 100% tariff, right? And then, yeah, it's gonna be passed down to the consumer here, or consumer there, or consumer here, yeah, because Tesla is. I thought Tesla was a Canadian company because he lived here before, Elon Musk, in Canada, because his mother is a Canadian, and his father is South African, but he's now a United States citizen, I think. So his company is in the United States. So yeah. Yan, isa sa epekto ng tariff, says from the logic, tariff will shut down North American auto production within a week, industry warns. And so sa Ontario, it's a manufacturing province, and then inaano yung Ford at saka yung mga iba pang Chevrolet, Depende, no? Tsaka Honda, merong Honda rin doon, but it's Japanese ang Honda. So Canada's auto sector exported 51 billion worth of vehicles in 2023, and 93% of them went to the US within days. The entire industry could shut down. Yan. So car buyers and auto workers in southern Ontario may be among the first to feel the pain of new 25% tariff imposed by US President Donald Trump, and the impact could be much more widespread. So yung mga talking points is unions and governments estimated that there are over 100,000 auto workers and hundreds of thousands more jobs supported by the auto sector. Kasi yung mga parts, it goes from the States, it goes to Canada, and then the finished product from Canada to the US, and the other way around too, right? The country is home to a unique concentration of major automakers that relies almost entirely on the US. Autos are the second biggest export and the biggest outside the energy sector. Auto exporting is a major economic engine for Canada, bringing in about 51 billion in 2023. About 93% of those exports to the US, exposing a major piece of economy to a new 25% tariff that take effect at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time on February 4th. The tariffs may add thousands of dollars to the cost of American businesses trying to buy Canada's second biggest export, the auto industry. Says Canada is exposed to shocks to the auto sector because Ontario is the only place in the North America where 5 major automakers manufacture, that requires sending auto parts back and forth across the US border, sometimes multiple times. So the way Ontario is, the southern part of the Ontario is Windsor, and Michigan is under Windsor, and in Detroit, they're one of the biggest manufacturing. They want Canadian jobs to be obliterated, I guess, by Trump, and wants to move to Detroit, Michigan, right? So the value of the individual and collective wealth depends on the ability to sell. We're under the existential threat on our ability to sell to our biggest trading partner, says Dennis Darby, CEO of Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters. That means that even if you aren't in the market for a year, you may feel the economic impact of tariffs on the sector. The auto industry supports about 100,000 direct jobs and hundreds of thousands of indirect jobs in Ontario alone, where there are 700 parts firms, more than 500 tool, die, and mold makers, and hundreds of other automotive software firms. The Uniform Multi-Sector Union has estimated that the Canadian auto industry, which made over 3,300 vehicles per day in 2022, makes an oversized contribution to the economy, with auto workers contributing 6.1 million per day to the tax base. So, ang GDP ng Canada is maglo-lower kung mawala yung trading nila sa US, no? So GDP is gross domestic product. Salary ng bansa ng bawat workers, tax, tsaka yung mga consuming power nila na mabumili. Ayan. David Adams, CEO of Global Automakers of Canada, whose group members include Honda and Toyota, estimated each job in an auto manufacturing plants supports 5 to 8 other jobs in the Canadian economy. So that ripples throughout the whole community, not only to obviously the part suppliers, but then to the diner where the workers go for lunch or for beers after work, he said. Beyond that, communities as far apart as Medicine Hat, Alberta, and Glasgow, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, NS are hubs for tire manufacturing, as are many communities in and out of the Rust Belt that have crops up factory towns. It's not like companies out of charity decided to come to Canada because we had a free trade agreement. This is a good place to build cars, just like Michigan is, said Darby. So Darby said tariff threatened to unwind the strategically placed automotive supply chains built over decades, and doing so would be an incredible detriment. So unemployment in Canada could rise as companies potentially move more manufacturing to the US. Yan ang gusto ni Trump, no? Pumunta yung mga manufacturing from Canada going to the US. Plus, we have carbon tax here, so it's not a plus for the US investors, right? So obviously they're gonna move to the US where there's no carbon tax, and some are already considering doing so. The Canadian dollar may weaken, which would make it cheaper for US companies to manufacture here, but make it more expensive for Canadians to purchase goods from around the world. Canada could try to build a new trade routes for its goods directly to Mexico or elsewhere, but that could take months or even years. So instead of biggest trading partner natin is US, Canada could make EU as a big trading partner, but there's that could take months or years because of the ocean distance away, right? It may be difficult to contain those impacts to the auto sector alone. So it's not unusual, Darby said, for a company that makes injection molds for the auto industry to also supply to other sectors like consumer goods. Some small businesses rely on the auto industry for a major portion of their businesses. Yan, yung mga HVAC, aeronautics companies, and they're facing serious competition from China. So the auto industry is one that Canada has historically treated as too big to fail. Government intervened to help bail out both Chrysler and General Motors during the 2009 recession to save the estimated 100,000 jobs in the country. And so it's going to be a lineup of EI, employment income, and hopefully they're going to do maybe a CERB type of thing. So there's no sense yet how long the tariff will last and whether automakers will find themselves in nearly as severe of a predicament as in 2009. But executives of Canadian auto suppliers like Guelph, Ontario-based Linamar have warned that car makers across North America could see production grind to a halt in as little as a week. So within a week from now, from Tuesday, since it could take months for them to find affordable replacements for specialized Canadian parts. One option is to accelerate the review of the United States-Mexico-Canada Trade Pact, which can't be done overnight due to consultation requirements, but could eventually provide more certainty to businesses. The Canadian government has put vehicles on its potential counter tariff. It's planned to introduce in 21 days in response to Trump's trade war. The government will carry out public consultations and work with business and provincial leaders before proceeding with the vehicle counter tariffs. The question remains how Canada keeps this huge chunk of its economy afloat in the meantime, particularly if the US government brushes off Canada's plan to use retaliatory tariffs as bargaining chips. Some auto-related companies are locked into contracts that leave them few options to simply move money and supply chains around, said Adams. So yan, embrace for economic impact from the Trump tariffs. Auto industry is the biggest industry that's going to be affected. So hindi lang yung, kasi marami ding related dyan yung mga cafeteria ng mga workers na tatrabaho sa plant, right? So Ontario is going to be the biggest hit because it's a manufacturing province, right? And next thing would be, BC would be lumber, tsaka yung mga gold, and steel, aluminum, kasi yun yung mga in-export natin from here to the US. Yan, we'll embrace for the impact of, we'll see what happens for the incoming days. And tingin ko Canada will succumb. I don't know. It's a good country, great country to live in, but with economic force that we rely mostly from the US. I don't know. We might have to succumb to become a 51st state, or just maybe a different country but use their own currency, a US dollar. That could probably happen. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just my opinion, right? Yes, because outside of US, Canada, everybody's using US dollar. So BRICS is gonna be playing on that part. So maybe the next video we'll put our opinions about the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are a BRICS nation. They're using their own currency. So they already have a tariff from Trump. So, yun.